Hi grade 5s and welcome to ordering decimals. So last week or last time we learned all about comparing decimals. Well, ordering decimals is almost the same. The biggest thing that you're going to have to remember is least to greatest and greatest to least, and when I am asking for those things. So as we look here, we have least to greatest. We know I've found this cool little crocodile guy. If we're doing least to greatest, our least decimal number would be here, which this is the less than sign. Our next one would be here, and then another less than sign, and then our greatest one here. So this number is less than this number, and this number is less than this number, but this number is greater than this number, and this number is greater than this number. But this is least to greatest. We also are going to order decimals greatest to least. So this number is greater than this number, and this number is greater than this number, and this is the least. And we know it's the least even by using these comparing symbols that we have. So, ordering decimals. Let's move on. So, the first thing we need to do is just like before, is we need to line up the decimals. And then the second is to begin comparing at the largest place value. So this is very much like what we did yesterday. Very, very similar. So I'm just going to move this, make it a little bit smaller. And one of the things that I really suggest is that, first of all, you read through the question. Does it say least to greatest or greatest to least? And as you're doing it, does this make sense? Okay? Does it make sense? Critical thinking all the way through. So let's do our first number here. We're going to write it down and line it up. 29 and 465 thousandths. 29 and 46. 29 and 467. Now, looking here, I know that I can make this into equivalent fraction and make it to the thousandths too, and that might help with some confusion along the way. So my largest, I'm going to begin by comparing the largest place value. My largest place value is the, say it out loud, the tens. So this, guys, they're all the same. Then we go on to the ones. The ones, there's a 9-digit in each of the ones. Now we're going to go to the tenths. There's 4 tenths in all of them. Now we're going to go to the hundredths. Oh my goodness. So the hundredths, there's still, the digit is 6 is in all of them. So we now know that there's going to be some kind of difference here. Which one has the largest digit or the largest value? That would be this one with the 7. So I'm not looking for the largest. I'm looking for the smallest. So which one would be the least? This one here with the 0. So this one here would be the least. So I'm going to go and I'm going to write that in my spot. 29 and 46 hundredths is less than, and this one would be my second one, and this one would be my third. So my second one would be 29 and 465 thousandths. The other thing I could do is go 29 and 465 thousandths, 29 and 467 thousandths, and I could do that same thing. Same. Oh, this guy would be next. So now that leaves me with only one left. So I've done that one. So that leaves me with 29 and 467 thousandths as my greatest. And I have done these from least all the way to greatest. If you think you need to rewind that and watch it again, you sure can. and you should have out your pieces of paper to kind of go through these with me. So let's have a look at these guys. We have least to greatest. So I'm going to take these numbers and I am going to line them up. So 3 and 6/10, but I see that these all go to the thousandths, so I'm just going to make this into an equivalent fraction to the thousandths. Then 3 and 567 thousandths, 3 and 569 thousandths. Now my first go-to is to kind of look and make a guess. So even before I start lining them up and everything, I can see, because I'm starting to learn place value now, I can see that this 6 in the tenths place is bigger than any of the other tenths place. So I'm thinking that that's probably going to be the greatest. But let's go through and find them out. So 3s are the same. Then I'm going to do my tenths, and what do I notice? This one is the greatest. So right away I'm going to write 3 by that one because I'm doing least to greatest. So I think that that one is actually going to be the greatest. So then I'm going to go to the next digit, and we're done with this one now. And they're the same. And then I'm going to go to the next digit. So we have a 7 here and a 9. Well, 7 is less than. So that one must be the least. So 3 and 567 is less than 3 and 569 thousandths, which is less than 3 and 6/10. Now if you wrote this like this, that would not be wrong. I'm not going to mark that wrong because you've created an equivalent fraction. It's just, this is what the question states. So now we're going to do greatest to least. Now if you would like to turn off, pause this and do it on your own and see how you do, you can. The first thing we're going to do is kind of make some guesses. So I can kind of guess right away which one is going to be the greatest, but let's work it out. 297 and 36 hundredths, but I notice that these are going to the thousandths, so I'm just going to make that into equivalent fraction. 200, not fraction, decimal, I'm sorry, I keep saying that. 297 and 359 thousandths. 297 and 4/10, but I'm going to make that into an equivalent fraction to the thousandths, so that makes sense. Going through these guys, and we switch colors. Those are the same, the hundreds, the tens, the ones, and this is where we get a little different. And remember, I'm looking for greatest. So that one is definitely, this one here is definitely the greatest. So 297 and 4/10 is greater than, now let's do the next one. So we go there. This one is definitely next because 6 in the hundredth spot is greater than 5. So I'm going to go 297 and 36 hundredths. So is greater than 297 and 36 hundredths. Sorry about that. And finally, that means our least number is 297 and 359 thousandths. Be super careful because if we go back here, this one looks like it's a bigger number because it has more digits. But the number of digits, especially when we're getting into the thousandths and the 10,000s or the tenths and the hundredths, the number of digits doesn't matter. Their value matters. So if we look here at our 3, at our tenths is a 3, our tenths is a 3, and our tenths is a 4, even though there's less digits on here, this is our greatest number. The greatest one. Okay, we're going to move on to this page, and we're done. So there you go. Have fun ordering decimals. If you feel for any reason that you are still not really understanding this, please stop it and watch it one more time. And while you're watching it, writing it down in your math journal on your own. All right, let me know how it goes and if you feel confident going forward, and you now can go finish the slides and then work on IXL. Have a great day.